Hi everyone, it's Aaron from Solace. I wanted to make a quick video just to show you how easy it is to get up and running with the Solace PubSub Plus software broker. So if you're on our Getting Started page, the first thing you'll notice is that we'll be using Docker as our container of choice. So step one is to make sure you have Docker installed somewhere. Docker is the only prerequisite for PubSub Plus. You don't need to have Zookeeper installed or Erlang or any external database or anything like that. I'm on a Windows laptop, so I have Docker for Windows installed, but if you were on a Mac or a Linux box, the commands that we're using would be the same. So step two, run the broker. So with a single command here, which I can cut and paste straight into my shell, it's going to download, instantiate, and run the Docker container in one go. So you'll notice that it couldn't find the image locally. I hadn't downloaded it in advance. And so it's actually going off to Docker Hub and downloading, pulling the latest and greatest from there. And if you were to do the same, go to Docker Hub, search for Solace. You'd find some more information about the broker there and some links into our various documentations. Now, if you're familiar at all with Docker, you'll notice that I'm exposing a few ports here. Port 8080 is our management port for our web console and also our fully RESTful management API for remote configuration. Port 55555 is the default Solace messaging port for messaging APIs. And port 80 is the WebSockets port for web messaging, which we're going to be using in just a few seconds. Now, this is a quick getting started. There are more detailed configuration options when building your Docker container, such as exposing other ports for other messaging protocols, such as AMQP, MQTT, or REST messaging, setting up for HA, externalizing your Docker volumes for easy upgrades, integration with Docker logging, all that kind of stuff. And you can find all this information on our documentation portal at docs.solace.com. Follow the links for the software broker, and you'll find all that various information down in there. Now, if you don't want to use Docker, there are other deployment options available. By far the easiest way to get going would be to sign up for our Solace Cloud. It's free to sign up, and there is a free tier that includes up to 50 connections. Nice thing about this is that all the ports are already exposed and set up for the different messaging protocols. There's a server certificate installed for TLS, and it's available in a variety of clouds and regions for you. And it's quick to get started there. Otherwise, head over to our downloads page. You'll find the Docker container there as well. We have an OVA machine image for use with VirtualBox. VirtualBox is free. Of course, VMware also uses OVA. We have a KVM version. We have a Hyper-V version for Microsoft people. And you'll find a whole bunch of quick start guides for getting the broker set up and running in your favorite cloud or PaaS. Now, if you're a Pivotal Cloud Foundry user, PubSub Plus is available as a tile for PCF as well, and you can head over to pivotal.io to find out more information from there. So now that my broker is running, let's continue with our getting started. So, step three, run the samples. So embedded in this web page are actually two CodePen sample applications, a publisher and a subscriber. If you're not familiar with CodePen, it allows you to run little JavaScript applications directly within the browser. And you can actually go and look at the source code that it's using and modify it if you wanted to in real time. So for example, here are the kind of default connection parameters that we'll be using. Here's the topic that we'll be publishing and subscribing on in a second. Here's where I create the session or the connection to the broker, handling various session events from the API, and so on. So let's go ahead and connect our applications. Now these are each connecting, generating a WebSocket connection into the broker that's running. Here's the connection detail there. And if I subscribe on my subscriber side to this topic/try/me, and I publish on the corresponding topic on this side, you'll see that the messages are flowing through the broker and over to the subscriber side there. Now, because Solace offers more advanced routing features such as wildcard subscriptions, let's try something a little more interesting. Subscribe to topic/t*/me. And of course, the original topic that we were publishing on will still match that particular wildcard, but I can publish on a variety of topics. You know, which gives me a lot more flexibility when designing the topic space and the routing options for my distributed application. So there you go, up and running in a few minutes and some basic messaging, PubSubbing. I hope you found that useful. If you did, maybe consider signing up for some email notifications. I'll be sending out periodic emails about new features that Solace is building, new tutorials or videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a video on more detailed Docker options for more production-like setups, a walkthrough of our web console for management and configuration, and how to get started with our Solace samples for the API samples, which you can find all on our GitHub pages. So thanks very much and have fun. Thanks.